matema atonga hiki tue tue ahoe ni ahoe whakatete he kungolangi taua hono whinangalo he matema not hold you down. You are the risen King, seated in majesty. You are the risen King.
Hi guys, this is Caroline, always reminding you that all of you are created beautifully. I needed to do a proper intro to this vlog today because it has been so hard to actually record. There has been a lot going on in our country and just a lot of turmoil within myself. I just couldn't sit in front of the camera and really properly do any vlogging. So this week in particular, I was able to pick up my camera and start vlogging, and so that is what I'm going to be playing after this video. So why am I choosing to talk about this subject here on my channel? It could be looked at as one of those politically charged conversations, and for me, this is not about politics. This is about humanity. We need to see things and call them out. Racism is a sin and it is horrible, and the residue of it still exists in this country today. Am I saying that every cop out there is racist? That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But the residue is still in the system. And so we are asking for checks and balances. For the other big reason why I am choosing to talk about this on my channel and to show the protests that I was involved with in my community of Sunnyvale, California. When I grew up in East Palo Alto back, I think it was 1981, the census of 1980, to kind of give you a breakdown of my community. It says that the population was about 18,000, with 61% being Black or African American. 25% of the community was white. I did not see a lot of white people growing up. We actually only had one white family growing up. It was the Taylor family. And 13% of the population was Spanish, and 0.6 of that percentage was Pacific Islander, which is of course me, Tongan. When I was growing up from the age of 4 all the way until middle school, all my friends were Black except for one other Tongan girl, which is Vosa. If you're watching, hey girl. And you can attest to this. Our whole community, predominantly the people that we were close to, who we were in community with, our friends, we're all Black. Issues like this were really heavy on our hearts. Of course, we're going to cover slavery. We're going to cover racism. I mean, growing up, I honestly thought that Lift Every Voice and Sing was the national anthem. This vlog is pretty much everywhere, but I did want to highlight that because that is what we are all facing. COVID, the racism now that is kind of at a boil, and we're all finally dealing with it, which honestly I think is a great thing, because for too long people have been angry, people have not been heard, and also there's not been enough empathy or understanding on both sides. And me being Tongan, to see it at a different angle, because although I am Tongan, growing up I really wasn't accepted for my race. Growing up I was classified like you want to be Black, and then even in the Black community it's very evident that I'm not Black. We accept you because you've been here so long, but you still are not us, so you don't know the full struggle of what we're going through. and you don't get the racism that they would go through going down to Stanford Mall. More likely they weren't following me around, but they would be following my black friends around. So things like that. Where I'm at now in my life, I see myself first as a Christian that happens to be Tongan. My race is not the biggest thing in my life, although that's what everyone sees us at. So for me, my biggest goal in life is my actions, the way I speak, the way I interact with other people. I want them to see first, oh wow, she's like Jesus and she happens to be Tongan. That's the way I adopt to live my life. I hope you guys are all doing well. You guys could tell I changed my shirt because I got the other shirt dirty in the middle of taking a break to record this video. I know what all my viewers are not here in the US, but I am a vlogger, beauty enthusiast here in the US, and I just wanted to use my platform to bring to your attention and bring to the light some of the things that are affecting a lot of people here in the US. Now these facts I got all off of Google. I'm sure any of you guys could look them up, but I thought it would be really good for people to hear some of these facts in order. I'm just gonna kind of read them out. So the first fact is, in 1619, there were some Dutch traders that came to the US and they brought the first slaves here. And that ran until 1865. So slavery existed in the US for 245 years. I just get teary-eyed just thinking about that statistic. Is 245 years that slaves were brought to this country. On January 1st, 1863, President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. However, the House of Representatives, which had a higher proportion of Democrats, did not sign this bill for another 2 years. So from 1865 to 2020, that's 157 years ago. Now, even with that taking from Lincoln, 2 years later, the House of Representatives signs it. 6 months later, people in Texas, I want to get his name correct. In June 19, 1865, General Gordon Granger arrived at Galveston, Texas, and told them that they were no longer slaves, they were free. So we're just looking at these dates, but it wasn't like it automatically happened later. So Juneteenth is a huge thing because even after the House took 2 years to sign it, 6 months later, people in Texas still didn't even know that they were free. Right after that era, we come into the Jim Crow era. These laws were created to legalize segregation, oppression, and the denial of voting rights for blacks. Blacks were the majority in southern states and the sizable minority in other states. Segregation legally, like we're going back to just because it was written, they didn't take effect for a while. Legally, segregation ended in 1964 when the Civil Rights Act was passed. That legally it was prohibited for discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. From that time to where we are now, 2020, it has only been 56 years. I'm 41. I'm going to be 42. Now the residue and the effects of that is still being felt today. So now we get into 2020 and it's Memorial Day, and most of the times Memorial Day we are all out and about. But because of COVID, we're all still sheltering in place. I'm waking up, I grab my phone, kind of scrolling through YouTube. Christian Cooper and Amy Cooper situation was being floated through YouTube and I'm like, whoa, what is it? Caught my attention, so I went ahead and clicked on it. So I'm sure all you guys are familiar with that. Christian Cooper was bird watching in Central Park in New York, and Amy Cooper did not have her dog on a leash. So he had mentioned to her, like, you should put your dog on a leash. If you want to go into any more of those details, go ahead and look it up. But I just wanted to say that it really crushed my heart. I'm watching the recording and she's on the phone. It's like her re-emphasis that he's African-American guy, you need to come. I'm afraid, and how she's feeling threatened by just a man telling her to put her dog on a leash. That blew me away. Still have people that have so much fear inside of them that the first thing that comes out of their mouth is that she wants to emphasize that feels threatened by this black male. That same day comes on my news feed the whole George Floyd incident. I was already disturbed by the whole Central Park thing. I just could not believe that that was the first thing out of her mind. And of course, we would love to think that racism is not alive and well, even though we know it in the back of our minds. We know it exists because of sinful man, because it's an evil thing that's happening. The George Floyd thing shook me so bad from the moment I watched the video and read what was happening. As I'm looking at the minutes of the clock with that police officer's knee on his neck, I'm like thinking to myself, oh God, he's gonna get up. There's no way he would keep his there. And then you're hearing this man screaming like, I can't breathe. And I'm thinking like, dude, of course he's gonna get up. The whole video, I think 6 and 8 minutes, but it felt like an eternity watching this cop's knee on this man's neck. And I'm sitting there thinking like, dude, he's going to get up. He's going to get up. And he never gets up. I have not been able to record because that had tore me up. I'm still continuing to cry and grieve and mourn this whole situation. I'm trying to process it like I'm sure a lot of us are, but I haven't felt that kind of agony. Like I've been in so much prayer, like been wrestling in my spirit, like how does this continue to happen? How does this hate exist? How does racism still play such a big role in our society? We have advanced so much in this country, yet we are still struggling with hate, undertones of hate, and overt things of hate. And I'm not even Black, so I don't even see exactly all that they see and all that they go through every day. So it was vital for me to kind of decompress, kind of sit with my brothers and sisters from the Black community, but also sit with people in the white community that I love. What are your views about what's currently going on? This stuff has been brewing in our country, like I said, for years, 245 years of slavery. And it's only been 56 years since segregation has stopped. You know the residue is still here. On another level, it's like Blacks of America have really paved the way for all minorities. We are reaping the benefits of that. So it was very important for me that in our community, we had a protest. I am in no way endorsing any of the riots that are happening. I get frustration. I get not feeling like you have a voice, but the damage that these rioters are bringing into our own communities, we are only suffering ourselves. Now, I know that there are other groups that are signed up to come in and bring all this havoc into our community. And a lot of times when I'm looking at these videos, I'm like, these people don't even live in this community. I don't know where y'all coming from, trying to destroy stuff, trying to bring havoc, trying to bring in more division. The fact is, it is time for us to protest and stand together with our brothers and sisters. First of all, so we can acknowledge all the suffering that they have been through and how still it is so fresh. It is so, the pain is so still real. When I look at the stats, just the numbers, I'm just like, I cannot believe all of this. There's so much to it. I'm just saying why I have incorporated that into my vlog today is because it's affecting me. It's affecting people that I care and I love. You're gonna see some clips in here of our march. More people came out than I had expected because I don't know the census for my community, but we don't have a lot of Black people that live in Sunnyvale. Majority now are Latins, whites, Asians, and Indians. Those are like the dominant races here in Sunnyvale. So I didn't know what to expect when we went to the protest, but when we went there was a flood of people. It was so beautiful to see people marching side by side from different races and different walks of life. When something is wrong, we need to call it wrong. There's no way we can continue to put a blanket over these things. We need to address it so that we can start the healing process. This vlog is all over the place. Like, I guarantee you that. The different moments of true joy is because my son also graduated from the 5th grade and is now going into junior high. My sister also had her baby, which is, we've been waiting for baby Rain to come. And also our church and my growth group, where we were able to go and celebrate the seniors at our church. So I'm also including those happy moments in this clip. If there's any time where I'm leaning into God for his wisdom, his perspective, his way of how we are going to move forward and how we're going to heal and change things, I'm leaning into God. I mean, I don't know how I would make it through this without my faith. And I know for sure communities all around kind of working together to bring a solution to what's happening. First is acknowledging that there is a problem. Second, it's listening in humility. Third is getting out there to make friends that don't look like you, don't think like you, don't share the same political views. And then going out there and voting. Like, those are the things that in my heart, that's where my conviction is. And trying to educate and teach our kids in love what's going on in our world so that we don't repeat these horrible patterns. If you are new to my channel and you're kind of interested in all this rambling and all the craziness that goes into my life, I promise there is some beauty videos coming out. I just haven't felt that I could sit down and do those type of videos right now. And right now I need my channel to be more organic with all that's going on in my heart, in my mind, and most of all in my spirit.
What does it say, Mommy?
Black lives are created in the image of God. That's Tara, Katie, that's Robin over there, and Jamie, and Joe.
Because I went to the EPA one, but there was nowhere to park.
Oh yeah,